This had to have been the best training episode I've ever seen in my life. The best training episode. I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen such a good training episode. But the question is, what made it such a good training monument in the first place? What made it so good, so spectacular for me to say such things? Well, let me break it down for you. First of all, when you see a training episode, you're learning a technique or you're trying to get stronger or something like that, and you focus on your goal and it's training. This one was probably because of Tanjiro's narrative. His narrative is what sold the episode for me. I don't know about everybody else. Don't get me wrong. The animation was amazing. The visuals were stunning. And even the character designs for Kabuto and not Kabuto but Sabito and Momoku were also adorable and cool. But it was the narrative of Tanjiro, him expressing and narrating everything that he was going through in those moments for those past 2 years. The first year and a half, he was training under his master, and he was pretty much learning how to do breathing techniques. Anyway, kind of like beginning of JoJo, how they do Haemon and the Ripple power, all to do with breathing. But his was going to do a water style, so he had to train as if he is underwater, constantly underwater. And those who usually do train in water, like swimming or in the Navy, most of the times have extremely strong bodies, great lung capacity, and a very fast heart rate, and they control that. And those are one of the benefits when you train in water. Your body becomes extremely stable, and not a lot of people know that. So that's why I think it's very important to learn how to swim and stuff like that, because not only it saves your life, but it makes you stronger too. Not only a quick, but also fun kind of way. However, Tanjiro didn't get the fun kind of way of training underwater. He just got the breathing and the lung capacity training, as well as learning on his senses and sword training, swinging a sword. I love every explanation that Tanjiro was talking about throughout the episode, about his training, about how he had to get up in the morning, how they were even explaining how having a sword is extremely difficult. Yes, we all think swords are extremely cool and stuff, but you gotta understand, swords are very weak. I remember the fat guy from High School of the Dead said that swords can break easily. They're cool, but even with a master, a sword can still break in a matter of uses. So you have to be very careful. You have to constantly take maintenance on a sword more than you have a gun. It's one of the reasons why the the foreigners defeated the Asians during the war, because they relied on guns while the other team relied on swords and arrows. But even when you're swinging a sword and you do it wrong, it can even shatter your bones. So it's posture, breathing, all that stuff comes into play when you comes to handling a sword. You don't just swing it recklessly or you're going to ruin your body. In fact, almost any way, even when you're lifting weights, when you're exercising, if you do any of those things wrong without good technique, you could do extreme damage on your body. And it's something that a lot of people don't think about when they're exercising or training in real life, when they're doing first beginners. So I did enjoy how Tanjiro was explaining all that stuff, It went to do with his breathing and all that. And of course, Natsuko was asleep the entire episode. No explanation, she's just sleeping. She's been asleep for the past 2 years. Now, for the last 6 months, he had to destroy a boulder. But this boulder, I knew this boulder was special because it had that ring around it. When you see a type of ring like that in anime, it means it's something to do with spirituality most of the times. So when I did see Momoku and Sabito there, I'm like, they're ghosts. I knew it. They're ghosts. Because Tanjiro couldn't smell them, couldn't sense them, and they would just come and go. Especially when Momoku said that her and the other children have been watching them, and they've been cheering them on from the distance. So you can already tell that they died. The question is how. We don't know how they died, but they were probably their sensei's children that they raised as orphans, but they probably died because of sickness. It could be for many factors, because back in the day, medicine was poor and it wasn't easy to get to a hospital, and you could have died off the simplest things back in the day. Not a lot of people lived old ages back then. Only very few were very lucky to live that long. Most could even die up in their 20s, late 20s, for crying out loud. So you gotta let that thought process go through your mind. It was a very tough time back then. But him training and him describing the struggles, when he trained, he struggled, he fell, he got himself back up, and he continued on. Sabido was motivating him. He gave him a goal, like, because when he first went to the boulder, he had no confidence whatsoever about slicing that boulder. He knew his sword would break. He knew that he didn't have the right posture for it. Even when he trained, he felt like he had nothing to do to destroy that boulder. So that's when Sabito came in, and he was like, he gave him something like, I want to be like this guy. This guy knows what it is. He knows what he wants to be. He knows what he is. So therefore, yes, I want to be like Sabito. That was his motivational goal. Then, but for you to reach that goal, you must know more about yourself. How can you get there? Okay, learn your strengths and learn your weaknesses. It's easy to know your strengths, but it's hard to call out your weaknesses and flaws. So that's where Momoku was there. She was pretty much telling him all his flaws and what he needs to do to work on those flaws to perfect his technique and skills. So as days went on, he trained with her and she taught him how to do different kinds of techniques with his sword and his posture. And then finally it was the day where he fought against Sabito and he won. It was a very heartwarming touch moment. I remember when I first read this in manga. In the manga, I didn't knew there were ghosts when he was first training them. I didn't knew that because, like I said, the manga is okay, but the background settings aren't all that. In the beginning, anyways. Because these are the first couple of chapters of this show. And you can't really tell much of the location. In fact, I thought it was snowing at first in the manga when I was reading it, but no, I guess it wasn't. I think it was snowing in the beginning. I can't remember. Anyways, but the anime perfected it. The anime gave it that visual setting that it needed, and even with everything that's going on, you can tell, yeah, it had to do with ghosts, it had to do with spirituality, and all that other stuff. And it was a nice little touch and go episode, I did say. It was good. It was the best, and I can't stress this enough, the best training episode I've ever seen in an anime. Really good. It wasn't just no typical, it was a training montage, but it was a good training montage. It was one with a good narrative, It didn't have any, Eye of the Tiger music or anything like that, or something like that. It was just him training, him falling, him getting beat up by his master when he didn't do the right thing. And then at the end, he got better. I'm not saying he's perfect, but he's getting there as time goes on. Because how many people say they can slice the border, and this dude is still a novice for crying out loud. So if he can do that, imagine what the other Demon Slayers can do that are top professionals. Now that's got to be something right there. Well, he has completed his training, and now he is off to take the test. The selection test. How will he prevail? Only time can see next Saturday. Anyways, this is starting to look like one of the best anime of the season. Since everyone's been complaining about One Punch Man with JC Staff, I guess it's safe to say we can give this season to Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba. That until we see what happens in Attack on Titan Season 3 Part 2. There's still that. Don't know when that's coming out, actually. I think it's this season. I'm not sure. Anyways, gotta check about that. So anyways, that's all I got for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you are enjoying Kimetsu, because Ufotable. Beautiful job. Good work. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please help me out. Like, comment, subscribe, and of course, hit that bell icon to get notified every time I upload. Madcrownxox, signing out.